All right. What we're doing right now is we're doing Linotype distributor box maintenance. The first thing we want to do is we're going to pull the first elevator cam backwards so that the roller is in this first indentation. All right, what that does is that moves this out of the way so we can get our distributor box out. Then we pull this out and we lock it in, and then Chris is going to remove the distributor box. There's a handle up there, you unscrew it, and he's going to catch the distributor box as it falls out. And this is your distributor box for the machine, at least on the Model 31. And then we're going to take it over to the workbench and we're going to clean it up. Okay, the distributor box maintenance, there's several things you can check on your distributor box if you're having problems. One of the things you want to check is when the mat goes through and it stops up here, that this is at the right height. It has a lip down here on this lifter, and you don't want it to go above this top lift. You just want, when your mats are catching on it, you want them to catch on just the bottom lip only. So what we do is we run mats through it. It has to be done on the machine. I can't do it out here on the table. I'm just telling you how to do it. You run a set of mats in, they'll push this out, and then your adjustment is right here. You loosen the nut and you tune your screw in or out to move this up and down. What I like to do is before I run mats in, I like to push this in so it's lifted up, and then I run the mats in, and then I just turn the screw down and let it down slowly until it clicks onto the bottom of the mat, and then lock it in right there. That way, when this is pushing them, it pushes them up to the right height, and it doesn't get double mats and get under both of them. The rails on the on the distributor box need to be level right here between each other so they go on straight. And there is a special tool for that, which we don't have with us today, but there's a special star parts tool that fits right across the top here. It's a bar that comes out and it goes down, and it's a correct height to set this gauge right here. The gauge is. The other part we want to look at is the distributor bar in the back. This should have movement back here so that when the second elevator bar comes up, it moves this up and down. And so that needs to be loose and not binding. And also the teeth back here need to be nice and clean and no burrs and no dings on them, so the mats go on properly. There's 3 screws, and they're really short screws on the sides of this that holds this rail in. There's 3 screws on the other side that holds this rail in. They very rarely come loose, but you always just want to kind of give them a tweak and make sure they're snug. And those are. Make sure the ones on the other side are snug. They're snug. If my eyes would work for me, my hands would. Okay. You also want to make sure that this spring is good, that it flops back forward and stops here. This particular machine has a stop you can adjust on it. It was made by Star Parts, but most of them won't have that. And then you want to look at this end of the bar. There's a bar point in here. This bar point is actually for larger mats. Some of the bar points are smaller than this. You want to make sure there's no burrs on the end of it. You want to make sure it's not bent, because on a Linotype mat there's a groove on one side, and that bar point has to line up with that groove so that you send one mat through at a time, and you don't send a whole, like 2 mats at a time, and get them hung up. So basically that's your adjustments on it. As far as oiling, this little piece here, you can put a drop of oil on your little roller. Inside here, it pivots on this piece, so a drop of oil here and a drop of oil here are okay. And then some people put a drop of oil on the spring, which is okay or not, because it doesn't move a whole lot. Now this piece up here, some machines will have them and some machines will not. This is your font distinguisher, and the font distinguisher is actually still on this, which you probably can't see. There's a little bitty protrusion right here on the distinguisher itself. It's like right here, and that's what goes into the little groove on the bottom of your mats. I don't know that you can see that, but it moves in and out. And there's a font distinguisher bar on some machines that adjusts this out for 6 point, 8 point, 12 point, for whatever you got. 9 times out of 10, you're going to find that that's missing on most machines, because most people take it off or break it and they don't even use it anymore. But if it's on your machine and it's springing out like this, then probably you're using it or it's causing you a problem, because they were also made to be able to be pushed in and twisted out of the way, so they're just locked out of the way, which is the way this one was. So this one's not being used on the machine, even though it's still present. Other than that, that's pretty much the maintenance on your distributor box, and it doesn't need to be done daily or weekly. This is probably a once a year thing to take it off and clean it up and check it out, unless you're having problems. And that's your distributor maintenance for today. Okay, this is the second part. We've cleaned our distributor box. We're getting ready to put it back on the machine. Chris, being young as he is just going to hop up on the back step, which I can't do anymore. And he's going to fit the distributor box back in the spot where it came out. There's a shaft up there and a big washer, and he's going to put those up inside that section. There's also 2 pins that fit in a groove. So you have to make sure all those are in position, and then you want to tighten up on the arm to tighten the distributor box back in place, which is what he's doing now. He's got the distributor box back where it goes. Next thing he's going to do is pull back on the arm to make sure it's fitting in the right spot. It doesn't bind on anything. Okay, that's good. So now at this point he can release the pusher, and then he's going to come back down and he's going to pull the first elevator cam back forward. Everything goes into position. The next thing is to run mats through it and make sure it all works right, which I'm sure all you already know how to do. And the part I was talking about the font distinguisher, that's this lever right here. And it had a piece that actually moves in and pushes that little font distinguisher in and out. Due to these pieces right here, you set whatever's in your first magazine, 6 point be it, 10 point be it, 14 point, whatever you have, you adjust this. And this is automatically supposed to change when you change your magazines and push it in. But this one's been disabled, that's why it's locked out. So all in all, that's what you do to take care of your distributor box.